especially if you actually know how it works. Today, we're going to break down exactly how the Facebook gaming algorithm works, how you can trigger the algorithm to give you more viewers progressively over time during your stream to ramp that growth up as your stream goes from tens of viewers to 50 plus to 100 plus to 200 plus. How can you trigger that and more consistently get free viewers out of this platform? We got all the answers today for you on the Digital Drop Podcast. Let's go. This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io? On the screen right now, you see this beautiful drawing Andrew Perrin is putting together, which breaks down the YouTube algorithm in the most perfect way. But we're trying to make it as simple as possible. Perrin, I see you have 4 rectangles here, each with 50 followers in them. Tell us, how is this relevant to the YouTube algorithm, the Facebook algorithm, and what can viewers do to trigger each of these sets of followers to come to their stream so they can grow faster?
So this is what happens every time you go live. So let's say we start over here on the left is where we start going live. From the beginning of this arrow to the end is our process of our entire live stream, okay? Along the way of the entire duration of your live stream, Facebook is sending out notifications to each one of your followers, starting in batches. It groups them into batches and it tests them first. So in this first one, it sends your live stream to 50 followers and it looks for a couple different things. It looks for, first, if they show up and even watch it. Do they watch it and get 1-minute video views? That's important. That's the first important step, is are they even showing the hell up? If they are, then it's looking for how much are they engaging via comments and reactions. Comments being more important, reactions being secondary, okay? And then it's looking for shares as well. So let me write this down. It's looking for, first of all, do they show up?
So do they show up when they get that notification in the Facebook gaming app, in their regular Facebook app, when your notification comes in for your stream? And of course, that's why your title and your thumbnail are so critical for that do they show up phase. Then once they show up, those 1-minute video views are critical. The second most important thing you're saying, is that right? Outside of whether they click.
Yes. And so all of this is an assessment for the algorithm to determine whether or not your stream and your content should be pushed to the next batch of followers. Right? So if you do well in that first batch, Facebook Gaming is going to send you to this next batch. And it's going to do the same exact assessment with that next batch. And so on for about 3 or so or more hours. It will actually do this over a very long period of time, longer than most people think. It doesn't do this in the first 15 minutes. It doesn't do it in the first hour. It takes a while where it keeps sampling small bits of followers until you get to the end, where it will send you out to a really, really large batch at the end. If you check mark each one of these hurdles really, really well, the algorithm rewards you at the end. So check, this went well, this went well, this went well, this went well. Boom, you're going to blow up here at the very end of probably about 3+ hours we've been finding. So that's what you want. That's the secret sauce for the algorithm, that you have to make sure this is going to work each step of the way, and you get engagement on each one of these hops and bounces to the new followers. And then you will hit your max, I guess reach is probably the best word for this, or maybe if in a non-marketing term, your max page potential at the end. The max that Facebook Gaming is going to let you send out your stream to at the very end. So whatever you're getting at that 3+ mark, if you have a stream that has, plus, and when we looked at the video board yesterday, and let's go over to that as well. When you look there and see your distribution numbers, if you're a little bit like 1-2 times above, and that was a stream where you hit your max potential and concurrence, consider that your max, right? And that's what you have to beat from there on. Let's look at that on content library real quick. So that's over here under distribution that we started to talk about yesterday. And for those of you listening, I'm in Facebook Gaming Creator Studio under content library, under posts, where again, we were looking at this distribution section here. If you're around 1.0 times or around your average there, look at that stream particularly and look at what your concurrents are. That's your max potential. That's what you're trying to get to, and that's what you're trying to beat every time you stream. That makes sense, guys? Did I explain that in a apt way?
That totally makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. So what we really need to do then is maximize the amount of people that are clicking initially whenever they're served your live stream. So we're going to be using titles and thumbnails, the best possible titles and the best possible thumbnails then. Then once they click, you want to retain them for a minute or more if possible. And we can talk about all the methods you can use to increase your retention. And then of course, it's going to be looking for those other signs such as shares and comments and reactions to the stream in order to verify that this is a piece of content that's worthy of sharing over and over and over again. And a question in chat here live from Skull Hunter Games on YouTube. He was asking, how long should you stream? And definitely 3+ hours is the best practice. That we're going to do an entire episode on stream length and scheduling, but 3+ hours is how you juice out the most that the algorithm can give you roughly based on your own testing. Okay, so let's talk about the first phase then that you were talking about of getting people to actually show up to the stream. What can you do? Let's go into detail there. What can you do to get people to show up? Because I think there's more than just good titles and thumbnails. So let's go break into all of those different elements. Perrin, what's your initial thoughts on that?
So take a look, and this is something you can solve. After you've done many streams, you can actually use your own data to give yourself kind of like the best way of getting 1-minute video views. I'm gonna go back to like June, I think in the beginning of my channel, like when I really kind of started this or close to it. We see if we can load this much data. Yeah, we can see like a flat line here. And I'm gonna grab all of my videos, pretty much all of my streams that I've done to see what the top are. And look, if you look here, they're already organized. And for those of you listening, I'm in Facebook Creator Studio under Insights under the Performance tab. And I just sorted by like the past 6 months or so. And here we're looking at all of my top streams, my top videos ever, categorized in a hierarchy of the best one on the top, going down, going down, going down. This is showing me, one, what my best thumbnails are. And I've noticed when I did this, all of the thumbnails that I took just a picture of me in my studio space as the thumbnail did particularly well. I do have to point out and admit this top one because this one is like my most successful ad. So it has about 20,000 additional advertised views. So I'm kind of cutting that one out and omitting that one because I know it's filled with paid data. So that's not organic. Let's just forget that one. So these top three, my top 3 streams in the past 6 months, half of a year or so, all have thumbnails of just like me in my studio space. That's working really well on Facebook Gaming. Why? Because it's showing people a human being up really close, so they get an idea of like, I'm an actual person, and nobody else is doing this thumbnail on Facebook Gaming. Nobody else is showing a human being big front and center with like a funny face or an angry face or something right in the middle. I'm the only one doing this, especially in Mobile Legends. This is why I stand out. And this is why I started doing it. So I've gone back to this recently, this thumbnail. I deviated from it for a while, for months, and had worse performance. I went back to it recently, started doing much better again. Also, I look at the titles here that did super well, and I take note of those. And I start trying different variations of that strategy as well. Notice though, on all of these, you can also see very clearly what your minutes viewed are and your 1-minute video views. I can see this one had 5.5K, and we know 1-minute video views are important determination in the very beginning of the algorithm. So let's come back to your question, Awal. How do you make sure you nail that first part and get those 1-minute video views? Title and thumbnail are really important, but it's also really important to start out your stream in that first minute, the first minute where people start watching you, with the most engaging thing you can. What I started doing in my stream is I started not going live until I'm actually in a game in Mobile Legends and playing, because I know that's when I have my highest concurrence. That's when I have the most people watching, and they're not going to click away if I'm in the middle of a game. And I started doing that to much success. So think about what you can do in the very first minute. Here are some pitfalls. And I know Awal, I know you and Ross know these. We've talked about them before. The pitfalls are stream starting screen for like a minute. People come in, they just see stream starting, and you're not even there, and there's not even a human being, and there's not even gameplay. People are going to bail. You're going to lose 1 minute video views. The algorithm isn't going to like that very much.
Hey, Ross, have you ever stuck around on a stream starting screen and just sat there for like 5 minutes as it counted down?
No, literally the only time I have, I'm literally sitting here typing and taking notes, and I don't even use Facebook Gaming that often about what Perrin just said, because it's incredibly important to realize that you can get if you have to do a loading screen to start a new game, like in the middle of your stream, that's okay. Obviously, if you've got people that are in, if you've hooked them in, that's fine. But like you just pointed out, oh my gosh, the first minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, if we got to sit there and watch you set up a new game, I'm done. I'm not hooked in there yet. I'm going to go somewhere else where they're already in the middle of a game playing. This may be one of the best tips you've ever given, Ashel.
Great. So nobody wants that crap. So you just get straight into the action. And what else can you do to hook viewers once they've actually joined?
So remember, okay, so we want 1 minute video views, but that's not the only thing that the algorithm is looking for. It's then, if you get that, so you say you've got that in 1 minute, it needs another criteria. It needs comments and needs reactions. So one of the strategies that we had figured out is you immediately start the stream with a pinned comment asking people to react, and have a poll asking them, have you reacted to the stream yet? Yes or no. So that as soon as someone gets to that stream, they see those call to actions and they're more inclined to engage and they're more inclined to comment. It also helps if you're on camera during that first minute, asking users in chat questions or generally just engaging with them and talking to them, but in a way that's eliciting a response. Not just saying, hey, yo, what's up? Yeah, how you doing today? Oh, I'm doing great, and talking about myself this whole time. Talk about them, get them talking in chat, get them engaged on a specific topic too. I think that's one of the most important things. When I would do a stream that's specific about like a new hero, I'll ask what people think of the new hero right away, because everyone's got their opinions. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, he's broken, whatever. I want them to tell me in chat right away in the very beginning of the stream, because comments, reactions, engagement, the algorithm loves that. You want to do all those things very early on. In that first 5 minutes, if you can do that in the first 5 minutes, then you're good. I think you just keep streaming and you keep doing your thing and let the algorithm continue to push you, because there's no other way past that first minute to 5 that you can predict when the algorithm pumps you back in, except for the 3 hour mark. That's the only other time that we know so far. We know that, like, I don't know how many times the algorithm does it. We just know it does it consistently throughout the 3 hour period. So from there, there's no predicting it. There's just doing your best to be as engaging as possible and having a good stream. And that's it. That's it. I mean, that's pretty much it. Start strong on Facebook Gaming. This works well with YouTube. So if you multi-stream, YouTube also likes it when you start strong, because most people on YouTube aren't going to tune in for more than 5 minutes tops. So if you start really strong and you're doing a restream strategy, that's going to be good for YouTube as well. It's good practice for that platform as well. So you can translate these skills to work for other algorithms. It's really, really nice. The one that doesn't really do much for is Twitch, which arguably it could actually do a pretty decent job at Twitch too, if you're being really engaging in the first couple of minutes and can bring some people in. But so let's go. I want to go I've
got a few tips there that I would like to share in terms of getting people to engage. So number one, this is the same thing that we saw on YouTube when it comes to thumbnails. You want to test out a wide range of thumbnails with your face on them, with different faces, different backgrounds, text or no text, game characters or not, taking a look at which game characters get the most clicks or not. And like you're saying, come up with those best practices based on what is performing. Another thing that we've talked about is creating a Google Doc or a notepad or a written sheet somewhere in your house. I've literally given my coaching clients my list. Come up with at least a couple interesting clickbaity sort of stream titles every single day and just write them down. Go shopping, if you will, on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube Gaming. Go look at what the top streams are calling their streams and see if you can find some best practices, or see if you can be inspired by people's stream titles. For example, I've looked at the Grand Theft Auto community on Facebook Gaming, and there's one top streamer for that game on Facebook Gaming that uses the exact same title every single time he streams. And he used this method that we're talking about today, and he gets, 2,000 concurrent viewers. And it's something like 99.9% hardest GTA Online challenge confirmed dash dropping all the cash or something like that. And it's clear that he went through a scientific process on Facebook to figure out what the best possible title is for a GTA stream. And he used that title every single stream, hundreds of streams in a row, because he can't find a title that performs any better than that one. And so that's using science to grow. That's an example of somebody who's beating the algorithm and now getting hundreds or getting thousands of concurrent viewers at any given moment because they're getting that click right out the gate. The other thing that you're going to want to consider here when it comes to engaging chat is right at the very beginning of your stream, if you can play with viewers or there's a play with viewers option, then right as your stream starts and people join, be like, put your in-game name in chat. Everybody put them in chat. Guys, let's get everybody in the next queue in the next lobby, and getting everybody to type their in-game name in there so that you can go through later and then you can copy paste those and invite those to your queue. That's a great way to get the initial people that just joined, A, a reason to comment in your chat, and B, a hook that as soon as you're done with your first game that you kick the stream off with, they can potentially join you for the second game and they'll stick around for that, getting you all those juicy 1-minute views right when you start the stream. Back to you, Perrin.
Yeah, I have to stress again, titles. I think a lot of streamers undervalue how important the title is. And I think a lot of streamers don't like clickbait titles. Clickbait titles work really, really, really well. I have been using ML players literally want only one thing, and it's skins for so many stream titles. And every time I do it, I blow the hell up. And I just reuse it a lot of the times, and I just blow up again. I even get people who come in and say, that title is so funny. It makes a ton of sense, even though I've used it like 30 times. It's okay to reuse something that works. I would say try not to use it back to back to back to back. Now, sometimes you can, like your GTA 5 example. I have found that I can't use mine back to back, but if I go back to it every once in a while, it always is a reliable title for me. So I keep it logged into a Google Doc, and I just keep using that data. The whole point of what we're trying to say here, everybody, is how you beat this algorithm is using all of the data to your advantage. And this helps. One of the, I think the biggest things you can do to help beat the algorithm is when you first start streaming and you're small, do lots of streams of lots of different things. Try lots of different thumbnails. Try lots of different titles. Try lots of different games in the beginning. Even though it's, yesterday we talked about how that's going to really, really mess you up. But in the beginning, it doesn't matter. Try all that stuff for months. And then when you go to insights, like I'm doing right here, and I look at data for months, I have all of this stuff to work with. And I can just filter it to the top and say, okay, this worked, this worked, this worked. Let's combine all the top elements. Try that with a stream. When you do that, the results are crazy because you're actually taking all of the clues that the algorithm and that the insights are telling you to use and making the best piece of algorithm content for Facebook's algorithm. They give you actually everything you need to know. How we looked at this yesterday. They give you the distribution of why you went up or down in the algorithm. They actually tell you. No other platform does this, by the way. No other platform says specifically, this is why you went higher or this is why you went lower. YouTube has analytics you can deduce for yourself, but Facebook Gaming actually freaking tells you.
They've got an algorithm button. Like right there, it's like, hey, hit this I button, and it literally tells you whether it worked in the algorithm or not. It's totally insane. Yeah. It's literally right in front of your eyes. Go to Creator Studio, Content Library, Posts, look at all posts, and click the I button next to distribution, next to every one of your streams like Perrin is doing right now, and it tells you exactly what the algorithm thought about that stream and what its weaknesses and strengths were. Did you get more 1-minute views? Did you get more reactions? Did you get less reactions? Did you get less 1-minute views? And so this allows you to experiment with different polls. This allows you to experiment with different ways to engage your chat and different titles and thumbnails for you to figure out what the best practices are in all areas so that you can reach that optimal optimal set of all of these elements coming together to get your stream to grow. But let's hit the pause button on that really quick because I want to kick it over to Ross because we're relying in all of these talks. We're talking about how you only get views from your followers that are currently on Facebook. We're always talking about restreaming on all platforms, right? And we're talking about posting on social media as often as possible everywhere, having a YouTube channel as well. Why do you post everywhere? By the way, Ross, if you don't mind posting our Restream link, we're sponsored by Restream. If you want to get a discount on Restream to stream everywhere to maximize your reach, use our affiliate link and our discount code to get like 25 or 30% off. But the reason why I bring that up is, and we've talked about this on the podcast, if you can get true fans of your brand to fall in love with you and to follow you no matter what you do and where you go, those are the types of viewers you want to join your stream right when it's starting or at any point during the stream. And they'll stick around, they will click, they will give you those 1 minute views, and they'll sit there and chat and react the whole freaking time, the whole time your stream is going. And so, Ross, I want to kick it over to you. What are some of those things you don't want to do when promoting your Facebook live stream on social media? And then give us an example of what you may want to do to promote your Facebook stream so you can get your actual true fans to come on over to Facebook and to give you all those metrics you not only want, that you need to beat the algorithm.
All right. Well, first off, it's important to, and Perrin can relate to this too. One reason why you need to be promoting your Facebook gaming stream on other platforms like Twitter or Instagram or whatever it may be is because Facebook's literally their entire business plan is to not show your entire audience what you're doing to make you pay for that. I don't know what it is for Facebook gaming necessarily, but I know the regular Facebook pages, if you're reaching 10% of your audience per post, you're doing fantastic. That's a really good number. But if you want to reach your full audience, you got to pay. So there's got to be another option in what you can do to actually promote and get people over to your Facebook gaming stream. Luckily, it's a lot different than what it is on YouTube, where where Facebook or even Twitter has been a little bit notorious for this. But if you try to linking over to your YouTube page, you're going to show up a lot lower in the algorithm as well. Because why do those platforms? Why would they want to send you off platform to something like YouTube? It's a little different on Twitter. Now, what you should be doing on Twitter and Instagram is you should be taking a action-filled clip from not the stream you're doing now, because you obviously can't cut that and post it while you're live. Grab an action-filled clip from a previous stream, post that with a direct link to your YouTube gaming page. You have to give them a reason to want to go and click and leave another platform. Obviously, it's a little more different from Instagram. We'll get to that in a second. But with Twitter or other social media platforms where you can link people off platform, give them a reason to. If you just post a link and say, "Hey, I'm live here," nobody cares. Like, it's just nobody is on that platform for you to take them off. However, if they're on that platform like Twitter and they see where you say, "Hey guys, I'm live over here. Here's what we're doing," and then you've got an actual clip that's just badass, and it's going to want to convince them more to go over. They're going to have a much better chance of taking someone off platform to your Facebook page. With Instagram, obviously, it's a little bit different. The easiest way that I found on Instagram is to just tell them that you're streaming on Facebook. Post that same clip that you just posted on Twitter, post it to your Instagram feed, and say, "Hey, search for this on Facebook Gaming. Come find me. I'm doing a live stream." You'll be surprised at how many people actually do that when they don't need to click a link to go do it. These are your true fans. These are the people that are more likely going to go off platform and watch you. And when I say off platform, I'm obviously talking about Facebook Gaming. But the one thing that you do not want to do is just post a link that says, "Hey, I'm over here streaming." That's it. It's almost a little bit tacky at this point.
Yeah.
There's literally never been a situation in my life where I've seen somebody post on Twitter, and I see it all the time, where it's just, "Hey, I'm over here on Facebook Gaming. I'm streaming Call of Duty Mobile," or, "Hey, I'm over on YouTube. I'm streaming Call of Duty Mobile. Here's a link." Like, nobody ever clicks on that.
Nobody clicks
go watch
that.
it.
Nobody.
Nobody. Go look at the big pages. Like, we looked at this last week. We were going over some of the accounts from like Stone Mountain 64 and stuff. The links, even when they do have good promotional material on there, those are the least engaged posts they have up there, because it's so difficult to take people off platform they're already on. People don't want to leave the platform they're already on. So if they're going to, which is still going to be difficult no matter what, you have to give them a reason. You have to give them engaging content right there on the platform. It's my rule of thumb. Give them everything you possibly can up front to help them make their mind up the quickest about whether or not they want to watch you.
That makes sense. And we only have a few minutes left on today's pod. We're going to be doing a whole series on Facebook gaming here on the channel here shortly. But one thing I wanted to talk about, you see on Twitter in particular, people linking to their Facebook live stream and then including like a GIF of like a funny GIF of a movie or a celebrity or a dog or something. Personally, I feel like that is a very lazy way to promote your stream. They're like, look, I don't want to just link to my stream and say, hey guys, I'm live playing Call of Duty. Come on, boys. And then they add a GIF there of, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger looking pumped up or a puppy doing something funny. And they're like, hey, come watch. I mean, is that really convincing viewers to come watch over on Facebook Gaming? Is that really going to bring your true fans over? Your method that you're talking about is giving them an actual sample of what they're about to see in a clip that's extremely compelling. If they like what they see in the clip and they click, they're going to actually get that when they arrive on Facebook. That is not only going to get you the click, but it's also going to get you viewers that are going to stick around because they actually clicked for what they're getting once they arrive at Facebook. Do you feel like animated GIFs are a lazy man's promotional method on Twitter? Because I'm seeing that in about 70% of the stream promotional posts out there, and it just seems like a garbage post. It just seems like a crap post where they're just kind of, you know, quickly searching for a GIF right before they go live, and they're like, oh shit, I forgot to promote on Twitter, and then they're promoting real quick. I mean, is that even helping, really?
It depends. Well, to back up what you're saying, 99% of the time, no, it's absolutely jack. It doesn't do anything. But however, every now and then, it depending on what your copy is, if you have a GIF that's relatable, it makes it ironic and funny or something like that, you may get a couple clicks out of it. But at the end of the day, if you're taking the time to put together a GIF of what you're doing, or just finding a GIF, just take the extra 30 seconds and post a freaking video. Like, stop being lazy with it.
That makes sense to me. Perrin, we have a question in chat here. I don't know if you know the answer. Justin Morgan is asking, can you talk about external links and how they affect a video algorithm push? You know, should you put them in the description? Should you even be linking to anything in your Facebook comments? Is that bad, good, blah, blah, blah? Do you have any thoughts on external links and whether that can impact you algorithmically on Facebook Gaming or not?
It does not. It does not. External links are, you can put as many as you want in your Facebook video description. You're fine. What I wouldn't do is put it directly as the first thing in your video description, because let me see if I can pull up a post here and show you how I do it. The first sentence, you can see right here, the first sentence and the first, top 3 lines or whatever. You want these to be important info, because sometimes in some places of Facebook Gaming, users don't actually see your stream title. They see the top sentence of your post copy first. So a lot of times what I do is I duplicate my stream title as the first line of my Facebook video description for those who don't get to see the title. And then
that's what Stone Mountain 64 does, by the way. He does the exact same thing on his streams, and he's getting 20,000 concurrents. Yep.
He does it because there are places, and I noticed this just studying Facebook video descriptions. There are some places where users can watch your stream where they just don't see the title. So if you just have a bunch of like links and info in here, they have no clue what your stream is about because they didn't get to see the title.
Right.
So repost the title here. And then if I click see more, I've got tons of links in here. Go crazy. Put all of your avenues in here. Now do it in like a tasteful way that's like separated and clear on like what each item is. But links do not hurt you in the algorithm at all, as long as they're not like the first line item on your video description.
That totally makes sense.
How much traction do you see from that?
Oh, I mean, I don't get a ton of clicks in my video description. Most people don't look at video descriptions. In fact, a lot of time in my chat, I had to say, look in the video description, because they'll ask me, hey, Astral, how do I download, LD player? I'm like, it's in my description. Or, hey, Astral, how do I become a supporter? It's in my description. Or, hey, Astral, what's your player ID? I get this question 1,000 times a stream, and it's literally the second line of my video description, but I still get it anyway. People don't read, but you do get some clicks, and then as you grow and as you get bigger, these will become more important. But I guess the biggest thing for me is it's just something I can always point to. All of the resources are in my video description, so when I'm streaming, I can just say, check the video description. And then everybody who hears that call to action can go look at all of these links, and then it does better. I want to summarize real quick before we end the episode. The Facebook algorithm is complicated. It's more complicated than probably any of us even know, even us here on the cast who are studying it. Don't worry about how complicated it is. Just use Facebook Creator Studio and use strategies here that we're talking about. Use the distribution tool, use your analytics, and follow the numbers. You don't have to worry about how complicated it is or what it's exactly doing. If you're just following what Facebook Gaming is telling you what's working, follow the green numbers, work with what is actually successful, and you'll do well in the algorithm. You don't have to worry about how complex it is, or if you're gaming it right or whatever. It's going to be more complicated. You can understand portions of it. Don't let that overwhelm you. Just focus on what is working and do lots of experimentation over time so that you have lots and lots of data to work with, and then study your own data and make great decisions off of that. Hopefully that helps you all get some better views. Hopefully that helps you all get